Greetings everybody and welcome back to another livestream recap. I'm ImagineerDave, the host of this channel, and today I'll be taking you through the livestreams 131 to 140 of the Create SMP series. As some of you might know, in these livestreams we work towards Minecraft's most realistic railway together with some friends. So let's dive into what happened in these episodes. In the last livestream recap we ended off on the mountain railway, and in episode 131 we continue here. This time, however, it was not about setting up the line up to the mountain, but some detail and decoration around the lakeside station. After farming some plants that will be used near the waterfront, we went straight back to the mountain railway to get the thing built. Even though this episode was quite simple, it was a start to looking into how we connect up the place to the rest of the world. And in episode 132, we did. We started linking up the railway from the mainline expansion through the forests and mountains, over the plains and to the lakeside station. This route wasn't really planned out yet, but after some trying and fingering I eventually found a way to have the rail lines link up without being unrealistic. After laying down the route, in episode 133 we started to do more decoration. This time, however, not on the mountain section itself, but instead on the rail line that connects up to it. A small bit into the route, the railway curves around the big mountain to avoid a lake or a long tunnel, and in this place we designed a small tunnel section that leads to a cliffside which is cut to fit the rail line. This newly decorated area fits well into the surroundings, but also adds a lot to see next to the rail line, which is eventually our goal, of course. Right after this section, the railway swoops back over a little valley to dive back into a tunnel. This is the part we worked on in episode 134, where we added a bridge to cross the valley and the entrance to this new tunnel. The railway viaduct is supposed to be old, so it is made to look like the wall is a bit crumbled and the vines have creeped up onto the pillars over the years. After doing all of this mountain railway stuff, in episode 135 we had a mod pack update. This update added a few mods such as immersive paintings to add a little bit more detail and color to our world. Outside of this, Create got an update and the computer craft schedule integration, which was bugged, finally got fixed. This means that in the future we can more easily set complicated schedules and probably run our yard a little bit more efficiently. The latter part of this episode, however, was focused on designing a new engine. With this mod pack update, I've also decided to add extended bogies into the mix to make more realistic engines and trains. The first focus in this was replacing our medium express engines, which by now were quite old. Of course, as you might have guessed, in episode 136 we built these engines in game and started to replace our old express engines with the new ones. Our old engines were driven off to a siding to be stored for maybe a future railway museum of some sorts, and the new ones, after being built at the depot, went into service straight away. Later on in the episode we worked some more on the new turntable version 4, which you can see on the screen right now, and the computer craft integration for it. Even though by now we already have a V5 in the world, it's worth checking out the V4 video since lots of things remain the same. Episode 137 brought us straight back into the railyard. After the new mods, I kind of forgot about the mountain railway and went straight back to Sherton, where we did a small expansion on the yard leading area. After building these, I found out that setting up the whole area behind it was harder than I initially thought, to be honest. Just adding these rail lines would not be enough to keep the area realistic due to Kenyox's base being on the same elevation as the rails. Without a good plan, the retaining wall and raised section just wouldn't make sense, so in order to make the whole area more realistic, we started to create a new plan for the total area, which eventually would be Sherton City. Even though this episode brought us some sketches and illustrations, in the next one I really made the plans alive in game. And this next episode, episode 138, was all about setting up this new plan in game, as I said. Or well, in a creative world, a copy of the main world. I planned out the road layout, made up ideas for what could be where, and the base of the plan was formed by that. Since I was getting so hyped for this new area, I also did some work in between episodes. The recordings of this might later be added into a special video about this expansion, but for now we start off at a new point, since in episode 139 a few front facades of houses were already designed. Even though this front was done, there were still many aspects to be designed and built, like the backside and the backyards, for example. Another part to be designed was actually the corner building inside of it. The apartments could be used on the straight sections, but inside of the corner I wanted something special. In episode 140 we finished up the apartment buildings and added in the shop in the corner. The layout of the area made it possible for me to design the buildings to go around the corner with, well, on the corner itself, the shop. I do not yet know what I'm going to put into the shop yet, but I'm sure we will find a good use for it someday. For now, I'd like to end this recap since, well, we already covered up 10 episodes. As always, I want to thank you all for following along, as it really helps me to stay motivated and make more ideas and plans. If you want to check out these live streams, be sure to join my Discord down below to get notified when I'm live, or follow me here on YouTube to get community notifications. If you are looking for schematics, some can be found over at my Discord and other at my Patreon page. Again, I'd like to thank you for watching. This is ImagineerDave, signing off. So, bye bye.